Oh. So hey there, back again for the second part of the Soul Reaver 2 stream. I guess it won't take more than that because it's really not that long, this game. Yeah. Especially since we're not fighting monsters we don't have to fight. Oh, I hate these little witches. And I hate the auto-targeting, which is definitely never working like we want. All in all, the battle system is really, I mean, it would be cool if some of the mechanics would work better. Demon! Where did you want to go now? Ah yeah, through the swamp. There. What? Can you stop doing these short attacks, which are really not... So can someone tell me why this isn't enabled here? Maybe it doesn't need to. Here we are, right. Journey host. Always nice to have a journey host. So how was it? Ugh, come on. At least his wings are working quite nice.
I had no choice but to act purely on blind faith. There was no way to tell what error this device was tuned to, and I had neither the knowledge nor the means to set the machine myself. I hesitated only briefly. Then, throwing the switch, I hurled myself into oblivion and relinquished my will to the hand of fate. Beyond all hope and against all probability, it seemed that the device had unerringly delivered me to the era I sought. For these were Sarafan banners, and these vampires apparently the victims of their crusade. The coincidence seemed too convenient to naively ascribe to fate. But whether my opportune arrival had been orchestrated by Mobius, some other influence, I didn't know. If Janos Audrin still lived, I would find him. But I was wary of further deception, and resolved to tread carefully.
Finally, no stupid monsters anymore. These strong... how are they called? I don't know. These super strong monsters are really stupid. I already have that, that's right. I enjoyed more as an adventure than, I mean, especially the second.
For all the butchery of Mobius's crusade, this massacre was somehow more chilling. The killing fields of the Sarafan betrayed a kind of orderly ruthlessness, the cold-blooded righteousness of the true believer.
by all that is holy!
Here at last, in the flesh, I beheld my former brothers in arms, the warrior priests of the Sarafan Order, their lives devoted solely to the annihilation of the vampire plague. And while I confess, I felt a twinge of longing, a pang of grief for what I had believed was my lost virtue, I regarded them now with none of the reverence I formerly felt. For I had seen the human face of the vampires, and now I beheld the monstrousness of these men.
Can you fucking stop? It's the most stupid thing about them. Because they can really... Oh, no. You wouldn't be able to, okay. Ah, come on, let's fight against someone. And as soon as you want to fight against someone, of course, there are fucking... let's call them mages here. They're really despised. Battles in Soul River 2 are just stupid. Oh, and... Can this dodging please work? And the range of these attacks, they are really designed to be stupid. And auto-facing. When I dodge and he automatically targets my direction. That's really, I mean... And then when I attack after dodging and he just auto-faces walls or whatever. I mean... I could use the Reaver, but no. But I should be safe. Reaver is really the only weapon which you can use in this game. That's not true. Sword is fun too, and the pike, but the battle system. I mean, the first one had flaws in battles too, but really the first one is more fun when fighting than this. Yeah, sure, most likely to fight them. Like, come on. Oh, fucking no dodge out of the way and not straight. Such a good game. But battles are really not my style or what. truly despise them. Oh, come on, don't get hit by them.
There's another one.
Damn it, I might have to battle them. Oh man, this is so annoying. Every time you climb up somewhere, they throw you down again, and they have that so many corners here and edges.
After my long journey, I finally stood on the threshold of enlightenment. For here was Janos Audrin's mountain retreat, intact and unblemished. The upheaval that would one day topple this ancient edifice had not yet occurred. And while I had no certainty that Janos still lived, this scene boded well, for I presumed that the collapse of the retreat must have followed the ancient vampire's demise. There was only one obstacle: how to reach the balcony suspended at that maddening height, so far beyond my reach. For this was the architecture of winged creatures. The tattered ruins of my wings were of no use. I would need to devise some other means into that mountain.
Can't get more annoying than that. I'm even looking for a dog. I know that there was some entrance here at some point, but maybe it just appears afterwards. Or I'm not sure. It was a bit weird to get in there. Der war. Hey, there.
There's one. Return to hell.
Shadow. Ah, let me guess here I need I never see a reason to do clean updates, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do Windows updates too, but Ah yeah, wait. It's not that bad of an idea here. To use the spirit realm. I'm always confused. I mean, it is a good idea to do Windows updates when they are there. I mean, Windows updates are more annoying when they have big updates and they don't work and they don't tell you why. And they want to do it every day. Of course, they said you didn't do it. And I'm like, yeah, of course it didn't work. And you don't tell me why. Yeah, there you have another issue. Come on, I don't need air there. Parking float, can you please? But they never work. These inputs are atrocious. Gladly, there's practically no way to die here. Practically there. It's not as nice as in Soul River 1, where there was really no way to die. Absolutely none. Yeah. This is absurd. How this sometimes works and sometimes not. I hate it. But I really hate it. It should be so easy. But then it just doesn't work. Inputs, I tell you, inputs. So what do I want with an area now? Ah wait, here, of course. There was a crumbling wall there. Now that this is open, I can get the Dark Reaver and yeah, okay. I see. Simple. Interesting. Of course, this is the first dungeon which requires you to get out of the dungeon to sort. Oh, the battles are still stupid. Did I mention that the battles in this game are really stupid? biggest flaw in this game when you... Yeah, I mean, aside from the length of the game in general. Battles not being fun is really... Luckily they fixed that in Defiance. I mean, at least the battles, they were way more fun in Defiance. Sadly, they didn't fix the length, because Defiance is still a pretty short game, even if not speedrun. Yeah, I've played it quite often, so yeah, I'm sure. The battles are way better than in this game, that's for sure. I mean, that doesn't mean I want to defeat all the monsters in Defiance, as it isn't really necessary every time and whatnot. I mean, it's not really a battle-based game where I would say, I mean, awesome, but it works as a game. While here, the battles are really just annoying every time I do them.
The mountain's interior was hollow, I discovered, and graced with soaring architecture unique to its creators. As with the outer facade, these balconies and galleries could only be reached by those gifted with flight. With only my ruined wings to carry me, this towering labyrinth seemed impassable, while the object of my quest lay just beyond my grasp. For here, suspended at the apex of the chamber, was the threshold that surely led to the great vampire himself. I didn't know whether Janos Ordren was the monster depicted in the stronghold, or one of the noble creatures memorialized among the ruins of the ancient vampires. And I didn't care. Demon or angel, he alone held the key to my destiny.
Reaver. I mean, I need them to... Okay, let's find out. Where do I want to go? Okay, light. Ah, wait, didn't I need to... I mean, can't hurt. If I need the Dark Reaver gun, they will tell me. I think a lot of it was shooting things out of the air here. Just didn't know exactly. Like these there. At once, so I have to stay there. Thing is, what wonders me, why is there a hole up there? There's something I should be able to, or maybe it's just force bridge. Oh wait, what am I doing? Of course, it's obviously I'm a bit blocked in my mind. Oh, this gliding, I mean the inputs, they fucking don't fucking work. Interestingly enough, I mean, this is one of the games, I mean, which has these flaws which I point out here, but they are still good. I still can't hate this game. I just think the same game here and having it through, I mean, a battle system which really is fun or whatever. I mean, it would be immense as a game. Point it out. Make it more obvious. The only question is whether we can play through Defiance today. Because this is really the last major dungeon in this game. And I'm pretty sure Defiance wasn't that long. Could be wrong, of course. Okay, Light Reaver. Dark Reaver. Shield. Okay, where's the Dark Reaver? Or can I? Oh, there's just a chalice. There we are. Said when we need a Dark Reaver, we surely get the possibility to get one. No. Ah, there, okay. Oh. Wait. No. I need to bridge it. This I need Light Reaver. Is the Light Reaver down there? I could have, of course, activated the airstream with my... Ah, well, next time. Oh, will you please? Oh, there. Okay. jumping mechanics not working yet. I think the streams are just there to be able to get the light Reaver back fast. That's what this bullshit, by the way. Sadly it won't stay for long. So there's no point in doing that. So, where do we want to put the shield, by the way? Paid real attention here, but... Ah, damn. This music always remembers me of Ultimo. For some reason. I guess it's the strange strings. Because other than that, the music is really not similar at all. I mean, I know I need the lights Reaver here because these elements, but yeah. So let's activate these things here. Ghost. Let's do that. The serpent. Hopefully I get to okay. Could have gotten that easier, but it's a bit confusing for me what I see here. What? Wait, what? Oh. This is strange. Can you tell it more? Okay. Let's drop that. Can I? Or activate your fucking wings. I mean, it is the same. Button is jumping, it can't be that hard. But let me tell you, it can. Appreciate it. Just still here? Obviously not. Would be way too helpful. Really these despawning items when you put them down. And especially the IKEA. just drop it and add on the other hand there's no real gain except maybe for a minute or so. Let's fill it up while doing so. I mean, I would certainly save a minute or two, but other than that, I'm not. I would say it's not more than a minute. I would save. Of course, it's really not that long. It's just boring to walk up here again. I guess that's why they introduced these air things. This part here, this music part. So Ultima. With the air I should shoot through it. No. Pretty sure I know now. What's the deal? This one I already did, I'm sure. What's the deal now here? No, I guess I didn't. Or didn't count, or just opened this one. Okay. No, this one. Okay. I know. Now I need the Reaver again. Okay, not the most efficient way, but so it wasn't there somewhere. Oh, can you fucking gain some height here? Pretty sure there was the third one. Yeah. Not that it's hugely. Actually, it doesn't make any sense. So hello there. Go down, get the light Reaver again, go up again and shoot the bridge down, and then I think we even have it. I think that's the second issue with this Soul Reaver here. That most of the dungeons are just really stretching out time. I mean, okay, I mean this dungeon is a bit special here. Of course, it really celebrates this way of using the Reavers. not sure how it was in Defiance. I think dungeons were more about storytelling in Defiance. Yeah.
Janos Audrin?
It is heartening after all these years to hear my name spoken without contempt. Raziel? My child, what have they done to you?
I have been dragged through hell and back. All it seems to reach this moment. But I don't yet know why.
For thousands of years I have waited, alone here, losing faith. At the time of the binding, 9 guardians were called to serve the pillars, and I was summoned as the 10th guardian, the keeper of the Reaver, the weapon of our salvation. Over time, our race died out, until I alone remained, sustained only by my obligation to you and by my guardianship of the blade.
And the other 9? Why did their guardianship not sustain them?
I don't know. As our race dwindled, the humans prospered. I have watched over the centuries as our history faded into myth and finally receded altogether. The humans have forgotten us entirely and claimed the pillars for themselves, wholly ignorant of their true purpose. To them, I am merely a devil, the origin of their vampire plague.
Why would the pillars summon human guardians then, if they are meant to be served by vampires?
The pillars choose their guardians from birth, Raziel, and vampires are no longer born. This is the crux of our dilemma, and this is the terrible irony. With their vampire purge, the members of the Circle have assaulted the very architects of the pillars they are sworn to protect. They have embarked on a treacherous path. With every vampire they kill, the humans are slitting their own throats. They know I'm up here, beyond their reach, and it terrifies them. You can see how they flaunt their kills to torment me, or perhaps simply to lure me out. They have this foolish notion that destroying me will somehow topple our entire bloodline. Thankfully, we're not that fragile.
I've seen them mustering their forces in the village below.
Yes. I don't know what they're plotting, but I fear our time may be bitterly short.
Mankind seems to have brought you only torment and grief. You must hate them.
They fear what they don't understand, and they despise what they fear. But no, I do not hate them.
Vorador does.
He has suffered much. He cannot forgive them.
Should they be forgiven?
They don't understand what they're doing. They are simply unenlightened and vulnerable to manipulation.
So, it's all true then, what Cain and Vorador have told me. I really am some kind of unholy vampire messiah.
Unholy? No. Messiah, perhaps.
I don't like that word. It smells of martyrdom.
Raziel, your role in this world's destiny is more crucial and more benevolent than you've allowed yourself to believe. Your journey will not be easy. Dark powers are allied against you. But I think you already know this. You appear to have been cruelly tested. The binding must be secured, Raziel. The pillars are the lock.
And the Reaver is the key.
Yes.
The Reaver is here. Why do I feel nothing?
The most formidable weapon ever forged by our swordsmiths. They infused the blade with vampiric energy, empowering the Reaver to drain our enemies of their precious lifeblood.
As Janos presented the blade, an inexplicable sense of dread crept over me, more palpable than anything I'd felt before. I was at once horribly repelled by the sword, and yet irresistibly compelled to touch it, to take it up. Please, take it away from me.
I fear you have been followed. You must save yourself, Raziel.
Janos! No! My surroundings whirled sickeningly, and I found myself transported safely away from the ambush to an adjacent chamber. Janos had delivered me from the Sarafan, selflessly forfeiting his own safety to preserve my life. And now I feared that my newfound mentor would be slaughtered by the very crusaders I had so recently revered. The irony pierced me, and with dawning horror, I realized that I had been duped by Mobius from the beginning. For the Sarafan had simply followed the path I gullibly blazed through this sanctuary, and had arrived bearing Mobius' staff. Thus armed, they had Janos at their mercy. Through the door, I could hear them battling, less than a dozen paces away. But it may as well have been 1,000 miles, for this barrier was sealed by elemental forces I did not possess. It seemed Janos had conveyed me into the heart of the fire shrine. I thought perhaps if I could galvanize the forge and imbue the Reaver in time, I might have a slim chance of saving Janos from his grisly fate.
Oh, the fire shrine, that's right. Do a short restroom break here. I'll be back, obviously. Da. Ja, ordentlig. So, then let's see. I think this was slightly weird, but just because of some jumps here. Yeah. Clever. What is with Woo? Are you happy that you see the ending of Soul Reaver soon? Dapper? Doesn't make things easier. Okay, I see you are quite silly today. I have no issues with these temples. With these specific temples, I mean... The only thing I don't like about the last temple, for instance, is how they stretch out the paths I have to take. But it was with the other, I think with the light temple it was the same. I mean, it's just huge pathways. And yeah, I mean, yeah, could be better. I would rather enjoy the same puzzles. The puzzles are good, but with a little less paths to take. I mean, it really doesn't improve anything if I have to walk 1,000 miles just to get to the next step in the puzzle, and then I die, and then my item gets despawned, and then I have to do the same path again. I mean, not die, get to the spirit realm, but I mean, all of your items get despawned as well if you get to the spirit realm. And that's really something. I mean, it's clearly stretching the game and doesn't serve any purpose. But I mean, yeah. It's more an issue of level design, of too big. I mean, I guess they wanted to show that they can do severely huge levels. I don't know. But forgot that they have to be fun. as well. I mean, that walking itself is not fun. And I mean, obviously, here the concept of the battles also come into play. That the battles are really not that fun. So if you have long ways and there are several monsters in here, I mean, I try just to jump to skip them, which gladly is possible most of the time. But yeah, I don't think that should be the concept of the game, of skipping enemies. At least, yeah, I never said this game is flawless. Quite the contrary. And again, if you know 2001, I guess it does fine. Yeah, restart PC, then it works. I had it several times. I don't know whether it's a bug or... So... I actually don't quite know what's the deal now. Oh, there's the save. I didn't even use the save here. Pain. Do you want me to hit that crystal again? So I really can't see more to do. Can you please? Oh, shoot. Hit it from here, I guess. No. No. Yeah, this is a bit confusing, but yeah, no, I think I get it now. First shoot, then get fire, and then get the fuck over there. No. Actually, I like it that the puzzles are, in general, quite compact and not too mind-boggling. I mean, a slight bit, but not too much. And that I absolutely don't get lost while solving puzzles. I mean, there are games where the puzzles are not complicated, but the level is so huge when solving them that you have no clue anymore where the fuck there was the keyhole to the key you just found or whatever. I only say Hexen. Hexen was, I mean, while I like Hexen in terms of design and whatnot, so, I mean, let's call it puzzles were atrocious. So this should be the last elemental power, and we are near the end of the game now.
I plunged the Reaver into that furnace and forged the blade with elemental fire. With the Reaver thus imbued, I was now armed to unlock the elemental barrier and rescue Janos from his executioners.
Look at his black heart. How it still beats.
The fiend intends to bury us alive. Raziel, we must get out of here.
Remember the sword!
Forgive me. I'm sorry. I failed you. No, Razia. Perhaps this was my true purpose. Simply to save your life this once. While I have taken yours. Embrace your destiny, Razia. You must reclaim the Reaver. It was forged for you and you alone. Without it, there is no hope.
As I backed away from Janos's body, I was overwhelmed by a sense of self-loathing so deep I could barely contain it. In that instant, I rejected all that I ever was, and embraced the role Janos had safeguarded for me so patiently throughout the centuries. I knew then what I had to do, the task for which I was uniquely prepared. I would pursue the Sarafan dogs to their loathsome fortress and avenge Janos Audrin's murder. Mobius would pay dearly for his treachery, and my Sarafan brethren would reap the horrors they had sown. I would retake the stolen Reaver, which was rightfully mine. And finally, when all these debts had been paid, I would reclaim Janos Ordrin's heart from their filthy, unworthy hands. If the heart was truly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife, its highest purpose was clear to me. I would restore the heart to Janos, and thus undo the vile crime committed by my abominable former self.
Well? Off to the end game.
We've been expecting you, little Raziel.
So, these demonic pests were not merely the product of Nosgoth's corrupted future, for here they were, hurtling back over 5 centuries to pursue me. These creatures, I suspected, were minions of the unseen forces that had hoped to control me. This was the tangible expression of their displeasure. These demons were unleashed as the penalty for my disobedience.
Ha! Didn't someone yesterday said David, or how he was called, that they are not demons, and I guess he said the name of them, however they were called, the race. Raziel themselves calls them demons. So I am allowed to, I guess. Have to watch out. I guess the Reaver will... let's see what happens if the Reaver is completely... I lose a bit of health, okay. Whatever.
Do you really think you can save Nosgoth? Let me enlighten you, poor Raziel.
Interestingly enough, while the cutscene is playing, the Reaver cools down. Shouldn't do that so often. On the other hand, it's the fastest way. So maybe I should do it more. They are perfect blocks. I mean, when I block, I lose health. Or how I can dodge and they fucking readjust to my position. Dude, you are annoying. Oops. That was not what I wanted. Why am I even fighting them? Like I said, battles in this game are just not fun. On the other hand, they could be even worse. I mean, if you have ever played Blood Omen 2,
There he is, the savior of Nosgoth.
Oh. So where the fuck is the way back to the normal realm, physical realm? The music here. Ah. Oh, fucking don't target people I don't want. It's really absolutely annoying, something like this. Oh. Oh, there's even a map. It's really super annoying. This auto targeting, or I mean this button to target lock. Absolutely unusable.
Guard me, brothers!
There's only this one demon left, isn't there? Just need to find him. Ah, of course. Oh, why do you have a fucking sword? Where did you pick the shit up? Okay, shit. Of course.
Come closer, Raziel.
It's really super annoying that you can't. I just a normal dodge would help here. Some, you know, press a button, dodge in whatever direction you want. Luckily, it's really whatever, I mean. Since you don't lose any progress here and whatnot. It just lengthens the path back a bit when you have to repeat it again and again.
Brothers.
Oh yeah, and the respawning enemies. I mean, yeah, I understand it more or less in this kind of game. Still, I'm not a fan of the spawning enemies. Never was. Except when it really kind of empowers the gameplay, something like... I mean, obviously in a grinding RPG, respawning enemies are kind of important. Oh, stop bothering me. You have absolutely no chance because his fucking dodge is just way too short in range. Just, you know. Can you please? No? Is there another path up there? Oh, ah, yeah. Really? No, I came from there, didn't I? Ah, wait, that was... yeah. This was a bit stupid here. I always get confused. I think the statue puzzle is still coming up in the swamp. I mean, after the swamp, yeah. Or puzzle, the... how the fuck do I get up there? Thing. Not really a puzzle. really celebrated here.
You shall not pass.
Lord of the Rings or what? Absolutely stupid. Eh? No, he doesn't want to. What is happening here? Bounding boxes. Okay. There might be a reason for the Shadow Reaver being there. But yeah, there's a Shadow over there, but nothing more. Usually I could jump up there, but maybe I'm just stupid now. Let's try it once more, then we just... Yeah, how about trying it once more while jumping? Not just doing nothing. Stupid game. There's Fire Reaver. Cool. Oh, it's really possible. It's really just tight. Yeah, the physics of this game shines. I'm sure there's a reason for the Fire Reaper to be here. This game at some locations also makes the impression to me that they really wanted to make it bigger. And, well, you know.
You have failed me, Raziel.
I wonder, Old One. Did you truly resurrect me, or were you simply there when I awakened from my torment in the abyss? I suspect you found me merely convenient, dropped in your lair by Cain, indestructible for some reason, a durable and gullible tool for you to manipulate. This one thing I readily admit. I have been used by others time and again, but always I seem to stray from their path. What is it about me, demon, that makes me such an unreliable instrument? Why do I survive one trial after another, on and on, in an endless succession of humiliating deaths and resurrections? It seems there is much more to my destiny and my history than I know. Perhaps more than you know as well.
really stupid when you can't hit them, but they can hit you. Like this. Or can he please not? Oh, it's really just the angle is perfect for it. And this always fucking... Oh, finally. Collisions in this game are so annoying. Oh, he decides to shoot at me. He decides to shoot, he always gets past. Maybe I should just rage them. It's just stupid. I think I did it by defeating them, and I mean the spirit realm you can get some distance and maybe it even works like this. Don't even think I will not. Always thought, what is this shrine? Seems to be nothing.
Guard me, brothers.
Yeah. I'm sure they will guard you.
Guard me, brothers.
Or make it more of them.
Free your soul.
I'm so happy that you can ignore every enemy except the demons, which is not quite true. In the stronghold you will have enemies which you can't ignore. Can you fucking not get on my nerves? I think this eats up my health too.
Return to hell.
Can you fucking try to shoot him? When you stand on one of the artifacts, you can, for some reason, not shoot. The game's just not able to switch into targeting mode. This game really works very strangely. But yeah, endgame.
Seize him!
Ah. Every time a different path through the stronghold.
Suddenly and inexplicably, I discovered the Reaver suspiciously laid across my path. Again, I sensed nothing of that temporal distortion, the peculiar sense of displacement I had felt when I encountered the Reaver in William's chapel. Cornered here with the blade, I suffered the same nameless dread that I had experienced when Janos first presented the Reaver to me. I felt at once repelled by the blade, and yet overwhelmingly compelled to seize it.
So, Raziel, here we are finally. You have no choice but to confront me now. And I am not so foolish as I've let you believe. We have business to conclude.
You knew I would lead the Sarafan to Janos, you vile bastard. You've been orchestrating my every move. My destiny is an amusement to you.
It was fun while it lasted. I think not, Raziel. Malik, do not let this
Malik.
creature leave.
Well.
He poses a danger to the Circle. Poor, deluded Raziel. Did you somehow imagine you had the guile to change history on me? I'm the Time Streamer. I knew your every intention before you did, you imbecile.
Lord Mobius, there is trouble within. The Circle is under
Hold
attack.
fast, Malik. This one is the real danger to us.
What are you trying to concoct here, Mobius?
You toxic creature. Did you imagine I'd simply allow you to run loose? Corrupting everything you encounter.
I admit that I've underestimated you to this point, Mobius. It's a mistake I won't repeat.
Wrong again, Raziel. Now, Malik, bolt the door.
Using his staff to disable my Wraithblade, Mobius effectively disarmed me, leaving me with only one choice of weapon. And yet I confess, it was not the lack of options, but blind rage that made me take up the Reaver. In my fury, it felt as though my hand had acted of its own will. And now, that same hand clutched the hilt with unyielding strength, and I felt a constrained tingling, a remote but palpable sense of longing, as the disabled Wraithblade tried vainly to embrace its physical twin.
Back to hell with you!
I recognize these two as my former brethren, in life as Sarafan, and in unlife as Cain's vampire sons. Melchiah and Zephon, the weakest of Cain's brood. These bastards had no idea what future lay in store for them, how they would become the very thing they so despised. The Reaver hummed with ravenous anticipation. Janos had called it a vampiric blade, endowed with the power to drain its victims of their lifeblood. I was eager to see what the Reaver would do to these two.
So fun that you are invincible here, which makes the end game totally super easy, even if you are the biggest of all idiots. And I guess I can understand why they did it, because if you would die here, the Soul Reaver would get despawned with their system, so... It's really annoying how they can just spam you. So stupid. Make sure that in a duel-based game you always have more than one enemy. That's why the Defiance is also better, because you can actually hit more than one, or I mean you can also hit more than one enemy here, but it doesn't rely so much on targeting or on the blocking system, which doesn't work anyways.
As Melchiah and Zephon fell before my blade, I felt the Reaver's bloodthirst as keenly as I ever had when I was still a vampire. I could sense the boundary between us dissolving. The Reaver was consumed with my rage, and I was intoxicated by its bloodlust. The blade had a vitalizing effect on me.
Sadly, I never played
Physical
Dota,
energy
so...
no longer decayed over time, and the wounds inflicted by my foes healed almost instantly. The Reaver had made me invincible.
Well, I mean, I don't think duel comes from duel, so... Or does it? Because, I mean, I don't know.
Have you come to reclaim the monster's
Let's quarrel.
black heart?
You'll have to get through us first.
My former brethren, Duma and Rahab, confronted me next. This all seemed so elegantly choreographed. Exhilarated by the Reaver, I was drunk with revelations. I could finally appreciate the delicious irony of Cain's blasphemous private joke, and I reveled as I colluded with him across the centuries. For it was I who put these bastards in their tomb, thus providing the corpses for Cain to raise as his vampire sons a millennium from now.
That's really what I despise the most. I hate it. I mean, at least they are fair by making you invincible here. So it doesn't come as atrocious as it would be if you wouldn't be invincible. I mean, I guess I would find a way and take it seriously. As I mean, it's not like this battle system is impossible, but it's just not fun. And I mean, the alternative would be obviously that you would just go to the spirit realm here and there, come back, fight them again, you would get it at some point. I love it how his dodge is just way too short most of the time. You wanna dodge? Fine. Doesn't work.
Back to the pit you crawled from, demon.
And here at last was my brother Turel, who along with Duma would bear me into the abyss without questioning Cain's command. So dutiful and righteous, even as a vampire. I guess some habits die hard. The vampire Turel had eluded my vengeance. The Sarafan Turel would not.
Oh, this is annoying. Want to get in there. Is there even a light here, by the way? Like I said, I mean, the whole game seems like they wanted to do more and just had to finish it up at some point, like the first one. Just not as crazy as in the first one, where there were really 1,000 elements in there which were completely pointless, even though interesting, like all of these spells. And obviously the ending, I mean the ending of the first one.
So, vampire, here we are. You've destroyed my brethren and now you've come for me. You'll find I'm not such easy prey. I don't want to kill you, but I will if I must. Return the heart to me and we can end this now. So, you've come to avenge that filthy parasite and reclaim his foul heart. You're a righteous fiend, aren't you? Apparently I am. No, vampire. This is where it ends. But you won't be leaving this room. Now, let's finish this. I'll make it mercifully quick. As you did for Janos? No, that beast had eluded us for far too long. It would have been a shame to end him too quickly. It's ironic, really. The great Janos Ordrin turned out to be no challenge at all. Thanks to you. Did you hear his cowardly screams when I tore that black heart out of his carcass?
It's really stupid. Dodge doesn't work. Oh, how about we do the old run around and do bullshit? Ah, seems to work better. Fuck autofocus. That's so stupid. Ah, really. Circling him into stupid shit works better than going into duel.
I renounce you. And so it ends. My history comes full circle. Sensing its twin, the Wraithblade uncoiled itself from me, and instead wound lovingly around its former self. I felt its grip loosen, and as the blade left me, its absence chilled me more than its presence ever had. A foreboding sense of emptiness and loss stole over me, and a terrible revelation gathered like a storm at the edge of my awareness. With all other foes exhausted, the conjoined blades turned themselves on me, and I realized, finally, why I had sensed nothing when Janos offered me the blade. The Reaver was never forged to be a soul-stealing weapon. The ravenous, soul-devouring entity trapped in the blade was, and always had been, me. This is why the blade was destroyed when Cain tried to strike me down. The Reaver could not devour its own soul. The paradox shattered the blade. So, this was my terrible destiny. To play out this purgatorial cycle for all eternity. I could not bear it. Despair overwhelmed me. You.
Are you enjoying this game? Don't fight it, Raziel. Give into it. Was this your destiny for me all along? Trust me.
I felt myself weakening, unable to hold on any longer. The Reaver was too strong. The compulsion to simply let go, too great. And then, a growing sense of vertigo and the familiar displacement. The paradoxical moment when my twin soul hovered both outside and inside the Reaver blade. This was the instant, the glimmer of temporal distortion Cain had been counting on all along. This was the edge of the coin, the minute flicker of probability upon which Cain had gambled everything.
Now you are free to reclaim your true destiny, Raziel.
Behind Cain's eyes, I could see new memories blooming and dying as history labored to reshuffle itself around this monumental obstruction. And I could see by the dawning horror on his face that perhaps we had strained history too far this time. That by trying to alter my fate, he may have introduced a fatal paradox.
My God. The Hilden. We walked right into their trap. Raziel, Janos must stay dead.
But Cain's warning was lost as I slipped into the spirit realm, too weak to maintain my physical form. And there, waiting for me as always, was the Reaver, the Wraithblade, my own soul, twinned and bound eternally to me. And I realized that I could never escape my terrible destiny. I had merely postponed it. History abhors a paradox.
Ja, Amy Hennig. Awesome. Awesome work. Three programmers? Okay, additional 3 and 1 audio programmer. So we have 7 programmers. Four converted it to PC. Actually, interestingly enough, this game this time didn't crash once. And I mean, Legacy of Kain is more or less known to be quite crash happy. But obviously, some things. Sometimes. Good old Michael Bell and Simon Templeman. Family has missed you. Did you sleep in the office or what? So, that was Soul Reaver 2. Let's take a look in the Dark Chronicle. Sometimes they have quite nice pictures there. Oh no. Okay, the Dark Chronicles are just cutscenes which make up. I think in the third one they have some artwork in there and whatnot. Okay, we see each other in maybe 10 minutes or whatever to Defiance. Defiance is already prepared. I mean, I really just need to start it, but I obviously restroom and whatnot. So see you. Thanks for being here. Do come again and the usual crap.